Hi, my name is Logan. I'm a service technician with Air Today. Today I just wanted to give you a quick reminder and a quick tutorial on changing your filters. This is one of the lower MERV rating filters. The MERV ratings can range anywhere from 2 to 12 as far as residential filters go. The higher the MERV rating, the more allergens and dust, and the lower the micron it's going to be able to filter out. This can be good in ways, it just depends on your household. The higher the MERV, the more often typically you'll need to replace your filter because it can be more restrictive once it does get clogged up. Here you can see that all filters have an arrow, and this arrow will always point towards the unit. So if you're putting this filter into your wall, the filter arrow will point towards the wall. One thing that I like to do whenever I'm actually putting my filter in to make it a lot easier for me is I go to the thermostat here, and I can simply press this fan button and turn my fan to the on position. And all that's going to do for us is allow air to pool so that this filter can be held up a little easier while I'm actually inserting it. And quickly, just to let you know why these arrows are here, these filters, no matter the kind, they always have some sort of support for these pleats here. That's the accordion style filter sheet that you actually see. And these supports need to be facing a certain direction so that the air pulling through that return does not damage the filter or bend it in ways like that. And even some cases, it can pull the filter into the actual return ductwork, which is not something that we want. So now I'm gonna get on the ladder and actually put the filter in, and you'll see that it actually just stays within because the fan is in the on position, and we'll have a fresh, clean filter. Got my arrow here. I'm going to point it straight up to the wall like I said earlier. And because the fan is on, the filter stays. Doors are very simple. Once you get it closed, give it a nice push, and you can close these tabs. And now your filter is replaced. I often get asked the question, when should I change my filters? And the answer to that question can vary. It depends on everybody's household. The box to the filter will always tell you about 90 days typically, which is 3 months. It just depends, like I said, on the household. Me personally, I have a dog in the house. Any type of pet will absolutely give off more dander and things like that will need to be caught by this filter, thus speeding up the process of it getting dirty. And so it's really something that we just need to keep our eye on and see what type of household that we have. And that way we can really pinpoint when these filters need to be changed. But the typical range is about 90 days for this style filter here. There are also media cabinet style filters, which are much thicker. They usually have a width of about 20 inches by 25 typically, and they'll actually be about 4 or 5 inches thick. Those filters can range anywhere from 6 months to a year. I will tell you it's much better to go with 6 months because most houses create too much filth within a year to really withstand lasting that long and keeping the system in good condition. So for these in-wall filters, 1 inch thick, we'll go with 90 days or less if you have pets. Children count too. And then with the larger and much thicker media cabinet filters, which are inserted actually into the ductwork, those filters are 6 months to 1 year. Highly suggest closer to that 6 month range. So, just to give you guys some quick tips and reminders again with these filters. I have this filter in, I've removed the door off of it for easier access and better visibility for the video's purpose. Here we have the fan on currently with the system running, and you can hear that it's basically silent. This is exactly what we want to hear. Oftentimes, when you're walking by a return like this and your system is running, you will hear a slight whistling noise. You will hear air kind of being pulled aggressively. This can often tell you that your filter is dirty and tell you when it's time to be replaced. Now, when this filter has been replaced and you have a fresh one like this one and you insert it and you have a clean filter, if you are able to hear any type of whistling or it sounds like the air is struggling to get through, there is a good chance that your return is actually undersized. So what this means is that your system is trying to pull more air than this is allowing to pass through. And what this will do often is cause your system to really struggle as far as your blower motor. It will cause it to get much warmer than it needs to. It can even cause the air to over condition in ways like when you're heating and you have a gas furnace. It is very possible to overheat the system with an undersized return because you're not pulling enough air. When you have this kind of situation and you feel that it might not be the best option for you to actually change the size of the return or upsize it, make it larger and make more of a permanent fix, one thing you can do, which really is helpful that we have different options for filters, is change your MERV. So like I kind of touched on earlier, there's different MERV ratings. The higher you go, the more allergens and things that the filter will actually catch. The higher you go with MERV, the more restrictive that filter can be. And so when we already have an undersized return that is trying to pull more air than it can get, and we put a high MERV filter in, that will only worsen the situation. And so in that event, what will probably be the best option is to buy a lower MERV filter, such as this one, or an even lower quality, which will typically have a brown cardboard edge and have the same type of pleats, but usually will not have these yellow lines here that you can see. These kinds of filters are less restrictive. They don't catch as much as far as dust and allergens, but they're much, much easier to pull air through and will help give your system some longevity. There are also devices that you can put into your system for air quality, such as phenomenal airs, air scrubbers, strong UV bulbs, things like that. That can allow us to capture more filth if you needed to go down to a lower MERV, because obviously we want to be clean and healthy. We want to have nice, high quality air to be breathing. And so if you lower your MERV filter and you have a lower quality filter, you're not going to catch as much. And so that's when devices, air cleaners like the Phenomenal Air and Air Scrubber will really help you out to help you catch more of that filth, even with a lower quality filter. And that is always something that we can give you more info on with Air Today, so you can always give us a call.